Have I fallen out of love with my Grand Seiko SBGR317 after 5 years of ownership? Find out the answer coming up.
You know what you're gonna be? Blasted.
Hello and welcome back to Automatic Reviews. I'm Mark. Before we get to the review, I'd like to encourage you to donate a few seconds of your time in the form of tapping the subscribe button, so that I don't have to wander the streets aimlessly in a mood. Alright, so today we've got a couple of interesting things going on. We're going to be revisiting my review of the SBGR317 and seeing how well my lows, mids, and highs have aged. Did the lows grow on me? Did the highs fade? We'll find out. Also in this video, I'll be discussing what my first servicing experience was like. But before we continue, I just want to say this video was not sponsored, but even if it was, I'll always be honest with you. Alright, let's have a look at this watch. Just a quick look at the unboxing. There's a decorated outer box with a rice paper insert that helps you extract the leatherette inner box. Inside you'll find the documents booklet, the user manual, and the aforementioned inner box, which of course contains the watch. The warranty was 3 years when I purchased this watch, but shortly after, they extended their warranty coverage to a full 5 years. Great news! The 316L stainless steel case and bracelet feature a superb mixture of excellent brushing and Grand Seiko's famous Zaratsu polishing. The case is 40mm across and a substantial 13.2mm thick. It's 46mm lug to lug, 48mm if you factor in the overhang of the male end links, with a lug width of 20mm. The lugs are drilled for easier strap changes. It has a sapphire exhibition case back. The window itself is etched faintly with the image of a lion and provides a view of the very nicely finished 9S65 automatic movement. Every 9S65 is hand-assembled by a master watchmaker, which is a nice bonus. It features 35 jewels and beats away at 28,800 beats per hour. It has a power reserve of 72 hours, and of course it both hacks and hand winds. The screw-down crown is signed with a raised Grand Seiko logo. The dial features an absolutely lovely pitch black and mirror smooth lacquer finish, which reveals a subtle sunburst in certain lighting conditions. The indices are applied and absolutely masterfully machined and hand finished. Also applied is the Grand Seiko logo. The color match date window is framed beautifully. The dial text and chapter ring are printed on very crisply. This watch has a water resistance of 100 meters. The hour and minute hands are razor sharp brushed swords with polished bevels. The seconds hand is a polished needle shape. The slightly double-domed sapphire crystal has AR coating applied only on the underside. The 5-piece link bracelet features a screw-based adjustment system, has solid end links, and a milled push-button clasp featuring an applied logo. There is no micro-adjust whatsoever, however half links are supplied to help you get a better fit. Here it is on my flat-profile 7-inch wrist. Adjusted for me, it weighs 144 grams. The entire watch is produced in-house at Grand Seiko's facilities in Japan. Its current price is around $5,700 Canadian at retail, which works out to about $3,950 USD. Almost at the end of my 3-year warranty, I had become increasingly frustrated with what had become unreasonably bad timekeeping. It had gone from less than 1 second fast per day to 10 seconds fast, and eventually it was gaining an average of about 2 to 3 minutes per day. I demagnetized the watch and this did nothing to remedy this situation. So I returned to my AD and requested a servicing. I also mentioned the smudge on the seconds counterbalance and the strange crown action requiring it to be turned counterclockwise in order to be pulled out. They inspected the watch, took pictures, and asked questions. I was told the watch would either be serviced in Canada, the US, or Japan, depending on how complicated the issue was. I received communication throughout the process and was told ultimately it would be sent to the US and that the problem would be resolved there. The servicing took about just under 4 months, and the result was the watch coming back looking brand new, like completely brand new. The scratches I put on the case and bracelet were polished out, and the smudge on the counterbalance of the seconds hand was gone. The crown action still had that unusual feeling, and so I've just accepted that it's here forever. The watch was wrapped in plastic almost like you'd find with a new retail model, and returned to me in this very handsome and useful Grand Seiko branded travel case. The charge for the servicing was $0. Particularly impressive as it included some polishing, which isn't covered under warranty. As for the accuracy issue, it was running a few seconds fast for a week or two, and then shortly thereafter it settled on plus 10 to 12 seconds per day, and that's exactly how it still performs 2 years later. I never followed up because after reading the forums, I discovered that many people have similar experiences, and I just didn't think it was worth sending it away for 4 more months to end up with similar results. So that was my servicing experience. Your mileage may vary. Ever had a Grand Seiko serviced? Share in the comments what your experience was like. Also, if you own one, how is your accuracy over the long term? Has it lived up to your expectations? No change here, the watch still needs a micro adjust. After living with it for 5 years, I can't tell you how much more I'd love this watch if it had an on-the-fly micro adjust, or even just any micro adjust. I choose whether or not to consider wearing it based on how it fits on any given day. There have been countless occasions where I really wanted to wear it, but I didn't based on how it fit that day. I didn't talk about this last time, but with more and more brands offering 7 to 10 year recommended service intervals, Grand Seiko's recommendation of 3 years sounds really, really expensive. That's a low for me. In my original review, I expressed disappointment that the box was underwhelming when contrasted with the excellent craftsmanship found on the watch. While that's still true, it's just not something you're going to think about often. Yes, this watch is around 13 millimeters thick, but tons of watches are 13 millimeters thick. I can understand why people think this watch could have been a little slicker had it been thinner, and I don't disagree. I do enjoy a slim watch. But to me, people complaining about Grand Seiko's being thick is like people complaining about Nomos's lugs being too long. It's just part of their design language. Grand Seikos are a little chunky, and that's fine. It hasn't bothered me over the years. I addressed the more flexible and distinctly non-Swiss feeling bracelet last time around as being a potential mid for some people, and since then I've seen countless reviews and Reddit posts about how Grand Seiko's bracelets are a big letdown. I defended the bracelet last time, but this time I'm prepared to say that the over-the-top criticisms are a serious exaggeration. The bracelet on this watch isn't perfect, but it's absolutely excellent. Again, I like that it has a different feel than other watches. I feel like Grand Seiko bracelets being a big weakness is just a myth that's been repeated so many times that it's become true. The exceptions to that are that the adjustment screws are a bit on the small side and are hard to deal with, and of course the clasp lacking a micro adjust makes it hard to enjoy the excellent bracelet, but the bracelet itself is very good. Due to having AR only on the inside, it's still next to impossible to get good pictures and video of this watch. But in practice, I've never had an issue with the legibility in person, and I really do appreciate the longevity offered by a crystal with no anti-reflective coating on the outside. My position remains unchanged. I respect their decision to prioritize durability. If you're obsessed with posting pics of your watch every day, however, this might be a challenge for you. There is a slightly angled gap at the edge of the clasp. Around the time I created the original video, I saw a lot of complaining about this online, but I dismissed it in my review, and it's such a small issue that I forgot about it altogether until rewatching my video. It's not a problem. Yeah, this watch shows scratches more painfully than others due to all that lovely Zaratsu polishing. But as I said in my original review, you can't obsess over these things. Also not mentioned last time around, the clasp logo is applied and that may impact durability. I've seen pics online of people who have had theirs fall out, so I'd rather it was milled in. First time around, I was quite dazzled by the polishing. The watch comes to you looking incredible, and it stays looking incredible provided you don't beat the hell out of it. Yes, remember this watch was polished halfway through my ownership of it. But honestly, despite seeing a fair amount of wear, it still looks great. Zaratsu is cleaner and more beautiful than most mirror polishing you'll see. And it's easy to live with. Still a high. These are still the most gorgeous hands and indices on any watch I own, even to this day. It can't be overstated how incredible the details and finishing are. Every little detail has been considered and refined. This watch was made to be beautiful from any angle, and even at any magnification. Also worth noting is the watch has never let me down in the legibility department, in large part due to how those polished bevels pick up and amplify any small amount of available light, like perfect little mirrors, even in almost pitch black rooms. Stunning craftsmanship. I still love looking at this movement in action, even to this day. This is a lovely piece of work, and why not have a window through which you get to enjoy it? Over the years, I've come to realize there are definitely comfort benefits to steel case backs over sapphire for me. I get sweaty arms, and the steel sits just ever so slightly more pleasantly due to not being sort of glued down to my skin flat like a display back would be. That said, I won't avoid them, and on the right watch I even prefer them, as is the case here. This watch offers a tremendous amount of quality relative to the price you pay for it without question. Especially when you consider that this watch is the same price today as it was back then. When you account for inflation, it should cost about $1,000 more than it did. Many, if not most brands have adjusted their prices accordingly, but this model is still available for $5,700, and arguably that means it's an even better value today than it was when I reviewed it. I touted Grand Seiko as being a brand with just the right blend of watch cred and a complete lack of recognizability to non-watch people who are just out to spot Rolexes so they can ask you how much it was. While the brand has exploded in popularity since I bought mine, in the real world I've only seen that translated to recognition at watch ADs. The average person, though, they still have no clue, and your stealthy watch nerd life remains safe while you wear this beauty. I call this watch an all-time classic, and that stands true today. This watch is timeless. This is the sort of watch you imagine when you picture a classy watch. It's a design that could be 50 years old or it could be from this year. Always evergreen and always a pleasure to look at. I was right. This watch is a classic. Alright guys, so where do I stand on this watch after all these years? Have I fallen out of love? No, it's safe to say that I haven't. Yes, it still has the flaws I covered in the first review, most notably no micro adjust, and that has only grown to annoy me more. And yes, it's turned out that the accuracy looks a lot like my less than Grand Seiko's, and that bums me out a bit. That said, this watch is an amazing little machine that brings me joy whenever I wear it. Every time I meet a watch person and they see it, they're blown away at how nice these things look in person. You just have to experience it. Do I recommend this watch? If you can live with the flaws I've outlined, then 100% yes. The day Grand Seiko introduces a micro adjust though, oh boy, it's going to be a game changer. Alright, that's it guys. What did you think? Do you think this watch is worth it? Are you coveting a Grand Seiko right now, and if so, which one? I want to hear about it. Okay, so be sure to check out the description for any relevant links, and remember, subscribing makes me feel like the luckiest boy in the whole wide world. Till next time, bye-bye.